Hey, hi, hello! This is Sleuthy Teacher, and today we are going to be playing Message in the Haunted Mansion, which is the third game in the Nancy Drew game series. I actually played this game for the first time during the drought between Sea of Darkness and Midnight in Salem. For whatever reason, I could never find this game on disc when I was a kid, so I actually played this game after I graduated college. So because of that, this game does not have a lot of nostalgia for me. It's not really one of my favorite games, but I still really appreciate everything that it did right. I enjoy the setting and the characters, and I still cannot wait to play this game with you. So let's just get started.
Hi, it's Nancy Drew. Welcome to my latest cyber mystery, Message in a Haunted Mansion. Choose your difficulty level to start off. If you're new to adventure games, you might want to click on the tutorial button to learn how to play the game.
Okay, so we are going to do Junior Detective this time.
Dear Bess, hello from stormy San Francisco. This time I'm staying in a beautiful Victorian mansion. You'd love the room I'm in. It's full of old Chinese furnishings and some interesting knickknacks. The owner of the house, Rose Green, is a friend of Hannah and asked me to come out and help her with some renovation work. She and her friend Abby hope to turn the place into a bed and breakfast by next month. But from what I gathered, Rose isn't sure if she can open in time. Ever since they started the renovations, they've had a lot of accidents. Could it be just bad luck, or is there something more sinister at work? I'm sure I'll find out. Love, Nancy.
All right, greetings from stormy San Francisco. All right, so I wish that we could hear the storm raging outside as we are exploring this bed and breakfast. I think if they mentioned that it's stormy here, I think it would have just overall added to the spooky vibe here in the bed and breakfast. So this is the beautiful room that Nancy is staying in. I absolutely love it. I love the music. It's so pretty. And if we look over here, we have Nancy's suitcase, her mom jeans, and this is the early form of Nancy's notebook that we get in the later games. It's a pretty basic one for this one, but it's still pretty cool.
It's locked.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, so let's take a look at this tapestry.
Listen, my child, to this story of dreams, and know that the beginning is more difficult than it seems. When the 10 daughters are reunited in order, when the 4-sided box loses its border, when the eye of the phoenix is in your hand, when the bird of fire can see again, when the moon sleeps and the sun plays, the king of the sky will shine his ray, and hidden beneath a river of colors will lie a gate to golden wonders.
I love that poem. It's so beautiful. And you can actually purchase this tapestry on HerInteractive's Teespring store. So pretty cool. All right, let's take a look over here. We have a dragon. And it says, Daughters of Diligence earn the gold of 9 dragons. And there's a Chinese symbol here.
When the 10 daughters are reunited in order.
So that's the symbol for daughters. And let's explore. Okay, so here we have the hallway, the nice creepy music. Just super fun. And like I said earlier, this is a game that I'm not super used to, so I'm sorry if I get turned around and lost quite a bit as I'm playing. I will do my best though. All right, so let's see here. Who do we want to start with? You know, let's go this way. Let's go visit Rose.
Hello, Nancy. I'm very glad you could come out here. We can really use your help, seeing how far we are behind schedule. Are you all ready to do some renovation work?
The amount that her head moves. Oof.
I can't wait. Last night, you mentioned some accidents. What exactly happened?
I don't know where to begin. It started out with some small but irritating things. But then the scaffolding collapsed, and just last week we had a gas leak. I really don't know whether I can stand much more of this. I would love to have a week without any accidents.
I can understand your frustration, Rose. Do you think it's just bad luck?
I'm not one to believe in bad luck, but it's been one thing after another. Maybe Charlie doesn't have the expertise for these renovations, but his rates are so affordable. I sometimes wonder, though, if this old house would be worth more burned to the ground. Enough chit-chat. Hannah tells me you're a real pro with puzzles. Take a look in the corner. Those wood tiles should fit inside the inlay pattern of the floor. Abby and I tried for hours, but it's just too complicated. I'm sorry for not introducing you around, but everyone posts their schedule here in the dining room. It's kind of like Command Central. Let me know how far you get with that puzzle. And thanks again for helping us, Nancy.
All right, so this puzzle is so difficult that Abby and Rose just can't do it. So I don't necessarily think that it's because the puzzle is difficult. I just think it's because they expect pixel perfection. So let's give this a try. I am a sucker for tangram puzzles. I do think they are very fun, but this one is definitely extra difficult since you do have to be so unbelievably precise when you put the pieces in. There we go. It does help though that it does go that nice light color when you do have it in the right spot, so that does make it easier, but still it's like splitting hairs. Oh, good gracious. You know, we're gonna do that piece later. There we go. Because I have a feeling it's that triangle that's making it not want to fit in there. So we might have to move that piece. See what I mean? It has to be so perfect to be counted. I don't even know if this is gonna work because there's that gap there. We'll find out. Okay, so there's that. Let's see if I can tighten this up a little bit. There we go. You know what, actually, I wonder if it's like that because this one is actually supposed to be up here. Let's try that. There we go. Yeah, maybe it was being so difficult because this one actually needs to be up here. See what I mean? It's like threading hairs to get it to fit. There we go. Perfectly. There's that little bit of a gap, so I don't even know if it's gonna allow that to be accepted, but we'll see. Okay. Oh, so close. There we go. Okay. The moment of truth. Okay, yep, so we gotta adjust this here. Kind of figured that was gonna happen. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, there we go.
I did it.
Like I said, that's not a difficult puzzle. It's just you have to be so pixel perfect. But okay, we did it. Whew.
How's that inlay puzzle coming along?
I finished it.
Wonderful. But now I've got something else for you. I set up a ladder upstairs so you can chip off the broken tiles on the hallway ceiling. You'll need to look around for a chisel or paint scraper for the job. I'm not sure where Charlie keeps them.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Okay, so now we have to chip off some tiles, but before we do that, okay, so Lewis is here from noon to 5. And Charlie is 8 to 5. And Abby is out from 3 to 6. Okay, so that's important to note. 1 second here. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm pretty... Oh, almost forgot to look at this. See, I told you I'm so rusty with this game. This is not one that I'm super fluent in. Okay, so we want to look in here.
When the bird of fire can see again.
So that is the symbol for fire. Looks like a K with a little splotch over on the side. All right, and I think we can look at this New American bed and breakfasts. If you want to make a bed for your cat, here's how you can do that. It's the perfect place to take a nap. Thank you to the probably one person that just laughed at that joke. I appreciate it. All right, so we met Rose. She said we need to talk to Charlie, so let's go meet Charlie. And you might notice that his voice sounds very familiar.
Hi, you must be Nancy. My name's Charlie.
No, it's not. Your name's Ned.
Nice to meet you. Rose and Abby really have their hands full with this house.
Yeah, most of these Victorian mansions need a lot of work. But I don't mind getting my hands dirty, you know? This place will look great once it's finished.
I can see that. But what do you like to do when you're not renovating Victorian mansions? Any hobbies?
Well, I'm taking classes at the local community college. I really like history. That's why it's neat to live. I mean, work here. Because everything is so old. It's got real character.
What do you know about the history of this house?
Not much. Lewis told me it was built in the 1880s and that it survived the 1906 earthquake.
Who's Lewis?
He's an antique dealer, I think. I guess he does consulting work for Rose, like on Victorian furnishings and stuff.
Do you have any idea why there's been so many accidents on this project?
I have no idea. People are blaming me, but it's not my fault. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this work. Listen, Nancy, I really need to get back to work. I'm repairing some floorboards, so be careful walking around. Rose was looking for you earlier. Maybe she has something for you to do. See ya.
So there we go. That is Charlie. I must say he is my absolute favorite character in this game. And I do think it's just because he's voiced by Scott Carty, the voice of Ned Nickerson in games 4 all the way up to 34.
And hidden beneath a river of colors.
So there we have the Chinese symbol for river. And it's hard to do a lot of exploring down here when Charlie's here. We'll have to come back later. So let's see if we can find any of our other characters. Okay, so Lewis is not here yet. Whoops. Sorry, there. Rose, you are not the person I'm looking for. Okay, let's go see Abby. So, fun little Easter egg. I just found out over the summer about this game.
I see you.
And if you just wait, it's really subtle. Maybe you already missed it. This painting blinks. I kid you not, it blinks. Shout out to my friend Gabriella on one of the Nancy Drew Discords that I'm a part of. She booted up the game when we found out that that was one of the hauntings, and we freaked out. We had no idea that that was one of the hauntings.
It's locked.
All right, so we need a key.
Hello, Nancy. I see you've arrived safely from your long journey. But I'm sensing an aura of danger around you. I can tell you're an inquisitive type, a little skeptical, and that you don't believe in ghosts.
How do you know I don't believe in ghosts?
I know many things. I know how to communicate with the spirits, and I know things about people that they don't tell me. Call it intuition or ESP. The The spirits in this house are interested in you, especially since you don't believe in them. Watch out. They may give you a rough time just to get your attention.
Uh-huh.
Does your intuition tell you who could be behind these recent accidents?
I'm not sure, but for some reason the name Valdez has a strong connection with this mansion.
Well, you'll be the first to know if I find a ghost floating over my bed.
Do you dare mock the supernatural? Just bear in mind what I've told you about this place. Spirits of the deceased can do unimaginable harm, especially to those who don't believe. Now, if you will please excuse me, I need to prepare myself for this evening. At that time, more will be revealed.
So that's Abby.
Om.
I couldn't resist irritating her a little bit with the ghost comment. She does not like it when you say you do not believe. Okay, so now what we are going to do, actually, change my mind. Let's go to the library and we can snoop when Lewis is not there. Firebird design. Same grandfather clock chime that you hear in Curse of Blackmore Manor. Here we have the living room.
It's good to know it's here.
Why would we need a fire extinguisher? I don't know. Some old documents. Okay, so let's go into the library. All right, so this is the library, and when it is the hours that Lewis is here, he'll be right here, but he's not, so we can do some snooping. Also known as the Firebird, this mythical giant bird occurs in the legends of many cultures, including Chinese, Arabic, and American Indian. Every 500 years, the bird builds a great nest and sets it on fire to rise forth from its ashes. Interesting. Grab that. And here we have another Chinese character.
When the four-sided box loses its border.
So the trapezoid looking symbol there is for 4. The Legends of San Francisco, the city's most influential personalities. Lizzie Applegate, well known or well loved by San Franciscans both for her cultural and humanitarian contributions. Lizzie Applegate was a talented actress and songwriter who began her career entertaining miners at local gold camps. In 1880, Lizzie wrote and starred in the tremendously successful play The Bandit's Treasure, whose cast included Norma Denton, Lenore Scost, and Pam Dory. This initial success was followed by a string of other hits, including The Riddle of the Chinese Box, The Fire in the Phoenix Eye, and Rainbow's Gold. And if I remember correctly, I discovered, well, I shouldn't say I discovered, one of the members on a Discord server that I'm a part of discovered that the names Norma Denton, Lenore Scost, and Pam Dory are actually anagrams. I can't remember what they were anagrams for off the top of my head. Let me see if I can pull that up here, because I did think it was incredibly interesting, and I would have never thought that those names are actually anagrams. I thought that was really, really cool. So, okay, let's see here. So shout out to Hazel. Hazel was the name of the person that found this. She discovered that Norma Denton is an anagram for Manor Find 10, which refers to the Hanzi symbols we have to find. Lenore Scost translates to Saloon Secret, and Pam Dory translates to Read Poem. So once again, huge shout out to Hazel for finding that information out. I thought that was super, super cool. And like I said in the last video, I think it's so neat that regardless of how long these games have been out and how many times we've played it, it is so amazing to me that we are still finding little hidden nuggets of information like that in these games. I think it really speaks loudly just how much detail HerInteractive put into these games. It's amazing. Okay, so here we have lessons in chess, and we have the knight. And here we have his password protected computer, which I think it's hilarious that he even bothers to have a password on his computer, because we can hack in doing the maze game. Revolutionary lock system here. So we're gonna press M to bring up the map, and we're gonna get out of this thing. So there we have it. We are into his computer. Okay, so San Francisco City Guide, 1888. We have the Cyan Palace, the Pomodoro, the Golden Gardenia Hotel, and Il Palazzo. We have some different keys here. So his laptop password is antiques. Have to find my pencil. Good gracious, it disappeared. Okay, so antiques. And we're also going to write down his briefcase password. So 4653 and 4868. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. We can look up a floppy disk, we can look up a CD, and we're not connected to a printer, so we can't do that, but we can, oh, just kidding, there's no garbage. All right. Make sure we don't miss anything over here. There we go. Okay, so that is all the exploring we can do in here. We're about 30 minutes away from him being in there. So let's see here. What else should we do with our time? I would say let's go ahead and move ahead in time so that we can investigate the saloon without Charlie there, but Charlie and Lewis leave at the same time. So we're not going to do that. We will call Emily instead. We'll call Nancy's friend Emily.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
Actually, I am. I'm helping one of Hannah's friends, Rose Green, renovate this wonderful old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast.
Seems to be the trend these days. I'll bet you're staying in the Haight-Ashbury district.
I'm not sure. The place is located on California Lane. 4653, I think, is the number.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
I hope you won't be riding them. What were you doing in Egypt?
Oh, you know, the usual. Pyramids, bazaars, the Sphinx. But what are you up to, Nancy? Why'd you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing system? I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
Have you heard of an actress, Lizzie Applegate?
Oh, sure. She was a good friend of Lotta Crabtree, another popular actress in the late 1800s. As I recall, she opened up a big hotel. What was it called? The Hotel Mandrake or the Oriental? I forget.
Do you know anything about Valdez?
I don't think so.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Call anytime.
Okay, and it is 1 o'clock. So that was a good way to pass the time. Lewis should be in the library now. Are you kidding me? Lewis, you had one job. Okay, well. It is 1 o'clock. We are waiting for Charlie to skedaddle. So let's go into our room and set the timer. See if we can speed this up a little bit. Nice little ghostly screech for you. Grab this. And we'll set it for 6 o'clock. All right. So now Charlie should be gone. So let's go and investigate the basement. Okay. So we have a newspaper article here. California Theater. Scandal, horror, outrage. Citing the increased popularity of stage revenues and decreased charitable contribution, the Ladies Protection Society has announced a shocking new strategy for raising much-needed funds for the benefit of widows and orphans in our region. No longer will the good ladies of our society hold garden parties, afternoon teas, or cakewalks to solicit contributions. Instead, these proper wives, daughters, and mothers will act on stage like common troubadours in several popular plays in order to raise money for their good works. As decent gentlemen, we should not allow the fair group to denigrate themselves to this level of vulgarity. Women belong in the home, not upon the stage. Oh, the scandal. Women out and about doing things, having lives. The horror. Okay, let's see here. Really speaks volumes, though, for when that article came out, because that was the outlook on that stuff back then. Bed and breakfasts on the rise. San Francisco's B&B boom. Looks like the house is from Full House. All right, so we're gonna go over here. There we go. And we're gonna grab this. And nothing there, empty. Be a good place to hide something though. If you, like me, have a sibling that when you were younger, you used to hide the remote so that they couldn't change the channel, I would have loved to have a table like that, stick the remote in there, nobody's changing that channel. Did anyone else go through that with their sibling too, or was that just me? Okay, we could talk to Abby, but we're not gonna quite yet. Ugh, I got turned around, sorry. There, this is where we need to go. Open that up. All right, so now we are up in the attic. Let's investigate up here a little bit. We have the mysterious storybook. She pushed her auburn hair back behind her ear and continued the arduous work. Each pile of dirt seemed heavier than the last, and the damp night air was stifling. Somewhere in the distance, a clock struck midnight. Suddenly, the sound of metal hitting metal resounded from the bottom of the pit. Carolyn dropped to her knees and quickly dug around the dull metallic chest. Soon the lid was uncovered, and she pried its lock open with her crowbar. Her eyes flashed as she saw the chest contents. 1,000 pieces of gold glinted in the soft moonlight. "Captain Stobbing's treasure!" the young heroine cried. "And soon it will be mine!" a gruff voice interrupted from above. Before she could react, Carolyn saw the backside of the shovel for a split second, and then darkness. When she awoke, she could hear the faint chink of gold pieces hitting one another. She struggled to stand up, but found both her hands and feet tied together. She slowly moved her hand to her back pocket, but found that her penknife was gone. "Looking for this?" Mr. Niles grinned, standing over her with the knife in his hand. "I know how clever you are, and took the liberty to remove the contents of your pocket. Please excuse the liberties I've taken." "I'll do no such thing, you villain. That treasure belongs to the Stuberg family, and you know it." So there you go. Grim little tale. Let's go this way. Tile. We have some Golden Gazette newspapers. And we have a head. And an iron. Another book. Oh boy, do I want to even try to read this? You know, that's a lot. And it's very messy cursive, and I could, but I just can't. I just can't. All right, so let's open this up. There we go. So we have some sheet music.
There's something hidden here.
I'll wait in Yerba Buena town, in a house high above the sea. Alright, so let's see here. The Bandit's Treasure, which is that play that we read about that everyone was scandalized that women were going to be acting in. Dear Sir, this letter shall serve as an introduction for my faithful employee, Wang Tang, who has been in my services of head chef for over 10 years. It is with much regret that I must discharge him, and were it not for the retirement of my establishment, I would still retain his services. E. Valdez. Okay. And here we have another symbol for beginning.
And know that the beginning is more difficult than it seems.
Okay, copy that down. I do think it's nice that they had Nancy read the line That is important. That is really, really nice. All right, so we are going to copy down these notes now because we're going to need them. So this would be B-E-G-A-G. So B-E-G-A-G. At least I think. We're gonna double check. Yes, that's definitely B-E-G-A-G. All right. So there we have that. And I think that is it. Oh, can we pick that picture up? Ah, we can. So here we have a picture. Okay, so I think that is pretty much all we can do up here. Okay, so let's see. Oh no, we're trapped. Or we're not. Okay, so hop it down here. And I'll look at that portrait again. If you missed it the first time I showed you, I'll let you get a peek at it and see if you can see that blinking eye. Okay, so it's right here. There. Did you see it? Pretty cool, right? All right, so let's tell Rose we fixed the tiles.
How are the tiles coming along?
I'm all finished, but you should know what I found.
I'm sure it's very interesting. But unless it's really important, I've got other things to worry about. Let's see. If you're any good at fixing things, there's a dumbwaiter in the hallway that's not working.
Okay, so we have to fix the dumbwaiter.
Where did Abby find those papers that are in the parlor?
She told me they were in her room, which surprised me since it was completely empty when we moved in. Now the room you're staying in was crammed with furniture. I think most of it was original with the house.
Have you heard of someone named Lizzie Applegate?
No, I haven't.
Whose laptop is that in the library?
Louis leaves it here, but he doesn't like people to use it. He said he's had trouble with viruses lately.
How did you meet Abby?
She was the drama coach back in River Heights, and we worked on a couple of plays together. My bid on this house was too low, so she pitched in her savings to help me get the place. If it weren't for Abby, I couldn't have afforded this place.
What is Abby planning for tonight?
She's putting on some kind of seance tonight to contact these ghosts or whatever she thinks is causing all of these accidents.
How did you find Charlie?
He just showed up one day. It was really odd. I remember Abby and I were in the basement talking about hiring someone to help us. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang and there stood Charlie, looking for work.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Don't work too hard.
I find it funny that Louis locks his laptop because he's been having problems with viruses, which is so hard to believe because his security system is just top notch. All right, let's fix this dumbwaiter. Wrong door. Apparently I have to commit. There we go. Okay. Nope. Oh, I am so sorry. There we go. Okay, so let's fix this dumbwaiter. Which I believe you have to fix it up here if I remember correctly. Nope, let me turn. There it is. Oh, it was first floor that we needed it. Okay. There we go. Foolproof way to fix a dumbwaiter system. Just use an iron. Okay, so now if we look in the one up here, we have another tile and we have another Chinese character.
When the eye of the phoenix is in your hand. All right, copy that down. And
now we have 3 tiles, which we can use in the library. So let's do that super quick here. And then we'll bug Abby and see what the seance is about. Okay, so the tiles go here.
It won't fit.
There we go. And it opens a secret passage. Pretty cool, right? All right, so we're gonna grab this, and we have another Chinese character right here.
Listen, my child, to this story of dreams.
So there's the symbol for child. We have a loose brick, which we can look through, and we can look into the library. All right, so let's go see if we can check out this seance. Actually, you know what? I think there's one other thing I want to do here before the seance. Sorry, I changed my mind. Since we picked up that lantern, we can hop down here. We have a little hidden crawl space, which if we crawl through, someone's been staying back here.
The king of the sky will shine his ray.
So Chinese symbol for king. Term paper. Book on El Diablo. Not much is known about this masked bandit who plagued the Domingo Baca Trail between 1875 and 1880, except for his trademark black outfit and mask. Many legends associate him with the Great Christmas Robbery, but contemporary historians now believe the robbery was fabricated by the Stagecoach Company since the treasure has never been found. Here we have a postcard. Dear Mom and Dad, sorry I haven't written in a while, but things have really been busy. I'm working now, fixing up an old house. I'm learning a lot and I'm very proud of the work I'm doing. I'm still in between places, so I'll let you know what my address is once I settle down. Say hi to Grandma, Charlie. So, Charlie is living here. In the walls. And you can see into the saloon there. And this door comes out upstairs. So there we have it. Okay, so that is not where I wanted to go. I want to go upstairs. There we go. And let's talk to Abby.
She sounds busy.
She's really not.
She sounds busy.
But she isn't.
She sounds busy.
Nancy!
She sounds busy.
You know, sometimes Nancy's manners get in the way. Don't have to be polite all the time, Nancy. Okay, 9 p.m. Let's set the timer for when hopefully we will catch Lewis. So let's set it for, I'm gonna set it for 11 a.m. actually. All right. She's still oming away. All right. So now we have a little bit of time to burn because we are waiting for 11:30. 11:30 is the time that we're watching for here. So let's see if Rose has anything to say while we wait.
Hello.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Or not. Let's see if we can talk to Charlie.
Hey, Nancy. I really need to finish this up. Sorry.
Seriously? No one wants to talk to us? It's like they can tell that we just need to burn some time. And we could talk to Abby. But that... again. Talking to Abby might trigger something that I don't quite want to trigger yet, so we are going to wait for that. Let's see here. We're almost there. I suppose we can investigate here a little bit more, see if there's anything else in here that maybe we missed looking at the first time. Some cobwebs. Subterranean San Francisco. Exploring the labyrinth below. Few people know the fascinating world below the streets of San Francisco, and yet a myriad of strange and mysterious sights lie in wait in the subterranean darkness, only to be uncovered by the intrepid urban explorer. Over the past 20 years of city spelunking, I have found old mines, abandoned utility tunnels, secret rooms, and many old wells and cisterns. Careful attention must be paid when searching these lost areas to avoid accidents. A good light source, building plans, and hard hat are a must. San Francisco has gone through many changes over its 400-year-old history. The continual cycling of building disaster, and rebuilding has created an intricate vertical record of urban development. Interesting. All right, so it is 11:30. We should be able to do what I wanted to now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this. And go into this passage. And look through the peephole. And if I timed this right, hopefully we'll see something. Cool. Oh, that makes me so sad. Okay. Oh man, best laid intentions, and it just absolutely fell apart. You know, we're gonna wait though. Maybe I'm just early. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to muscle my way through this game quickly. And maybe that's my problem. The game can sense that I want to move this along. Not because I don't like the game. Don't come at me for it. That's not what it is. I want to see if I can get this done a little bit on the quicker side. Nope, still nothing. Maybe we can't do this until we meet Lewis, which is fine, but then he needs to be in the library. Oh, this makes me so sad. Ugh. Well, we'll give him until noon. And if he still isn't here, we'll do something else. So while we wait, how's everybody doing? You having a good day? Suppose I could tell you a joke that one of my students told me the other day. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because 9-year-old humor for you. All right, well, it is noon. Nothing has happened. I think this isn't working because we haven't actually met Lewis yet. So we are going to try this later. It's fine. Everything's fine. Maybe if we go back in, he will just magically be there? Maybe, possibly, perhaps. Nope. Has anyone ever had this problem where you cannot get Lewis to show up? Like, did I write the time down wrong? I don't think I did. Okay, we're gonna check the clipboard. Something strange is afoot. No, Lewis, noon to 5. Well, maybe we're there early. Maybe he doesn't show up until slightly after noon. Maybe. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And if he still isn't there, then we're just going to go talk to Abby because I don't know what is going on. Hey, there he is.
Hello. I was so wrapped up in my book, I didn't hear you come in. My name is Lewis Chandler.
You were wrapped up in a book. We were wrapped up in the fact that you don't know how to read a clock, dude.
I didn't mean to startle you. I'm Nancy Drew. I came out to help Rose and Abby with the renovations.
Yes, well, I'm very glad you're here.
Are you a friend of Rose?
Yes, I'd like to think so, but I'm an antique dealer and a client told me that Rose and Abby had recently acquired the estate. I'm an authority on the Victorian era, so they were only too happy to let me use the library in exchange for my advice on the renovations.
You must know a lot about the house's history.
Actually, I'm a bit in the dark about this particular property. However, as far as Victorian mansions go, I don't see anything remarkable about this one.
Abby thinks the mansion is haunted.
Does she? There have been documented cases of hauntings in older mansions. And I might add, not all of the hauntings were by friendly spirits.
Do you think a ghost is causing these accidents?
Accidents? I know Rose has mentioned some inconveniences like that wall covering and the light supplies, but I would hardly call those accidents. I'm sorry, but I'm quite busy at the moment, and although I'd like to talk, I really don't have the time. Please, excuse me.
So there we go. Lewis Chandelier. About time he showed up. Okay, so now that we've talked to him, let's go up and talk to Abby and see about this seance she was talking about. Wait for the blink. Hey, there we go. Okay, so let's see if I can find her room first try.
The spirits wish to speak to you, Nancy. Tonight, I will channel their energies to deliver a message. Meet me down in the basement, if you dare. Please sit down.
We really don't have time for this.
Let us begin. We are gathered here tonight to contact the shades of those who have passed before us. Gaze into the crystal ball. It will answer all of our questions. What's that?
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
We have. Are you the spirit known as Valdez?
I was once called that in the world of the living.
Are you the spirit who has caused these accidents?
I have come back searching for her, my wife. Where can she be?
The spirits have spoken. The seance is over.
We've got a busy day tomorrow, and no more time for these games, Abby. And make sure you blow out the candles on your way up. I don't want to wake up and find the house on fire.
There we go. All right. Spooky, no? I think we can do a little bit of exploring here before we go to bed. See, she's upset about the fact that we couldn't find Lewis earlier, too. Mysterious shadow. Either that or else she's sad someone ate her last Cocoa Kringle bar. I feel your pain, man. I'd cry too. Okay, so Rose is not here. We can look at her to-do list. Pay bills, transfer money to checking, order paint for shutters, color, measure windows for blinds, replace lost tiles on den fireplace, refinish kitchen cabinets, sand and polish hardwood floors, oil door hinges upstairs, repair hanging gutter and back, get estimate to fix roof, call chimney cleaner, repair dumbwaiter, fix broken doorbell, add additional phone lines, order bulbs for front yard. Here we have a chandelier interiors, or is it Chandler interiors? I've heard it both ways. Dear Rose, what a pleasure it was to meet you and Abby. As we have discussed, I am extremely interested in examining the collection of old books that came with the house. They will help me considerably with my research of Victorian antiques. In exchange, I will be more than happy to consult you on renovations. Victorian homes pose many difficulties, both structurally and aesthetically, especially for an amateur renovator like yourself. My expertise in this field can save you both time and money. I will come over tomorrow at noon to show you the roof tiles I found for you. I also found a good deal on scaffolding equipment. So the scaffolding equipment that broke was actually from Lewis. Interesting. Yet everybody blames Charlie. Dear Miss Green, we have received the accident reports that you have submitted and have summarized them below. We are very concerned about the high number of incidences that you have experienced, and although we would not like to raise your insurance policy premiums, we must examine this option if these accidents continue. We are also delaying any payments until we can send our building inspector to examine your property to determine if there are any safety concerns with your renovation methods. Interesting. Okay. So now that we had the seance downstairs, there's a couple things I want to do. First of all, let's play the piano. We're going to use the notes that were differently colored in that sheet music upstairs. So B, E, G, A, G. And the bandit's treasure. My love, here is the key you'll need. Very interesting. And now there's a whole bunch of equipment down here, including a tape, which until recently I thought that the voice that came through in the seance was the same voice that we hear when Nancy calls Mystico in White Wolf of Icicle Creek. But Hugh Miller from Nancy Drew Walkthroughs set me straight. Apparently, we can listen to this tape elsewhere in the game, and it actually will reveal who the voice is. So we'll try that out. Shout out to Hugh for correcting me on that. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Okay, so now let's see here. What do I want to do? Too much Taco Bell.
It's locked.
Sorry. All right, so with that piece of paper that we found in the piano, we can open this up. And if we take a look at the sheet music and we line this up with that, it will say, find Diego on stairs. So find Diego on stairs. I'm sorry if I'm doing this like outrageously out of order. I'm sure someone is watching this going, what are you doing? Everything is out of order. Sorry. Okay, so let's find Diego on the stairs, shall we? A-G... Diego. There we go. Coins. False floor. Coins, false floor. Interesting. So here we have a Chinese character and a note. It says, Diego, I've waited so long for your return, but have kept our treasure true. Here is the tool you'll need to find it. May your rainbows never run out of luck. The stars and moon will shine on you as you begin your quest. Travel to the corner forest. Visit all from east to west. Then journey back into the center, where you will surely see the sun shone over all the land in perfect harmony. I don't know what it is about the writing that they used in this game, but for whatever reason, it's so ridiculously difficult to read to me. I don't know why. Okay, so I think that is pretty much all that we can do now. So let's go to bed. And we will wake up at 11 o'clock and try the Lewis thing again. Maybe this time it'll work. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, hear me out. Ignore the note. Open the door. See who slid it under. No? Okay. Leave the mansion now! Oh no! Also, little side note. Pretty sure this is the same font from the threatening note that we received in Stay Tuned for Danger as well. Looks very familiar. Alright, so someone wants us gone. But it was not a ghost because we could hear footsteps. So it is not the ghosts that we have angered. Okay, let's see what time it is. Okay, we still have a lot of time to burn here. Let's see if... Oh, shadow. See if Rose has anything to say this morning.
Hello.
How do you know Lewis?
He stopped by one day to introduce himself. He seemed awfully curious about our property. But he's an antique dealer specializing in the Victorian period. He's been extremely helpful advising us on authentic decor.
Have you found any rainbow designs in the house?
Rainbows? No. Not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
So long.
Okay. So, no rainbows that she has seen. Good to know. I wonder... I suppose we could try to talk to Charlie, but I'm worried.
Hey Nancy, I see you survived Abby's seance. Man, that Valdez guy sure sounded creepy.
I guess. Were you down here then? I don't remember seeing you.
Rose told me all about it. So how are things coming along? Anything I can help you out with?
Or, you know, he was in the walls. Let's see here. I don't want to get too deep into conversation here because I don't want to miss what we have to do with Lewis.
Have you ever heard of someone named Valdez?
I've heard of a Diego Valdez. He was a wealthy rancher who lived in the 1800s. Yeah, I just read a book on him for my history class.
Did he have any children?
No, he was sort of a hermit and never married. But he was extremely generous. He gave away thousands of dollars.
Have you seen the poem in the Chinese room?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. It almost sounds like there's a hidden message in there, you know?
Foreshadowing?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Bye.
Okay. Perfect. We will come back and finish that dialogue later, but now let's get up to the library and see if we can trigger what we tried to do before. Nope. Wrong door. Let's see if it'll work this time. Oh no! So pro tip, you grab the fire extinguisher first. And then you extinguish the fire. Because if you do it... So loud. If you do it reversed, it's a game over sequence. Bizarre, I know.
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
Now, the saddest part about this is not the fact that all the historical documents were lost in the fire. It is the fact that we have now missed the window to do what we need to do. So, that's fun.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Goodbye.
Okay, so increased fire protection. Convenient seeing what just happened. All right, yeah, so we are well past where we needed to be, unfortunately. So we'll go talk to Charlie again.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
So, do you have any proof?
I'd better not say any more. Sorry.
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
How does Abby get on Rose's nerves?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose is sort of had it, you know?
Had you come across any hidden passageways down here?
You mean like a trapdoor leading to a room with skeletons or something? No, I haven't.
Just a trapdoor leading to a room in the wall.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
See ya.
Oh man, I do love Charlie's character. He's so awesome. Okay, so we already talked to Rose. We talked to Charlie. Let's go talk to Lewis and investigate where that fire took place. Yep, so everything is burned to a crisp. Only scraps remain. Oops, wrong button there.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named E. Valdez.
E. Valdez. No, I've never heard of that name. But I'll jot it down and let you know if I come across it anywhere.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors, specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
Do you know why the fireplace in the parlor didn't have a screen?
No, I don't. Now I remember. I was to purchase an antique fire screen, but never found a suitable match. I feel just terrible. I must apologize to Rose about this.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it. and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
Do you know who Lizzie Applegate was?
Yes, I certainly do. She was a very popular actress in the late 1800s. She was very generous and left all of her money to the Ladies' Protection Society.
What was the Ladies' Protection Society?
A popular charity in the early 1900s. They helped widows and orphans.
Have you seen the poem in my room?
Oh, that one. Yes, it's just some cheap Chinatown souvenir.
Do you know what a phoenix is?
Yes, it's a mythical bird-like creature that builds a nest every 500 years and then sets itself on fire to rise forth reborn from its ashes. It's a very popular symbol in the Bay Area. In fact, there's one on the main staircase.
I won't keep you any longer.
Nice to see you again.
Okay. So... let's see here. We'll go up and visit with Abby. Now that we've had the seance and the fire happened.
You have become completely distracted by all of the spiritualism stuff. I think you were in the parlor, either burning candles or using that flash paper.
Well, excuse me for trying to find some ways to promote this place. It's good business sense.
Well, I guess we won't have to worry about advertising if the mansion burns down.
You've given up. You want the mansion to burn to the ground. That way you won't have to worry about losing your investment. You'll just collect the insurance.
How dare you? Are you accusing me of fraud?
I'm sorry, Rose. I don't know. It's just all these accidents and now this. I know you're dedicated to this house. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Let's just finish up these curtains. I think the stress of the last few weeks has finally gotten the better of us.
Okay, so sorry if that was kind of faint. I was afraid that if I moved, we weren't going to be able to hear it. But there was an argument between Rose and Abby. Rose accused Abby of being the cause of the fire in the parlor, burning candles or something like that. And then Abby got upset with Rose, and that's how that went. All right, so Abby is not in her room right now. Let's snoop. I do love the music in Abby's room. It's so beautiful. Okay. So fortune telling for business popularity. Some pictures. Another Chinese symbol.
When the moon sleeps and the sun plays.
Okay. Come on, close. Okay, let's see here. What else? There's this book here that we're gonna need. Rather than copying this down, I'll just take a picture of it because it'll go a little quicker. Pause. All right, got that. We'll need that later. Come over here. There's a book on mastering the art of illusion. Interesting. We're not going to read that just for the sake of I don't want Abby to come back and catch us. Let's see here. There's a book on the nightstand for Old West romances. Lizzie Applegate and the Bandit. According to legend, the infamous masked bandit El Diablo fell madly in love with Lizzie Applegate during her years as an entertainer at the gold mining camps. At the end of Lizzie's performances, El Diablo would ride his jet black steed up to the stage and leave her a bouquet of gardenias. It was rumored that Lizzie joined El Diablo's band of thieves and was present at the Christmas gold robbery in 1878. Interesting. Charlena Purcell, Eat Your Heart Out. Okay, grab this. Here we have footage in the hallway so Abby could see when you're walking. And if we press some of these buttons.
I see you.
We have some spooky sound effects. So, super interesting. And if we go down here, this is what Hugh told me about, so we'll check it out.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond? Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
It's interesting.
I need a tape.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
I thought we could do something with the tape so that we could hear the voice, but I'm not seeing any buttons that we can press. Try one more time.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
Yeah, I don't know. But interesting, regardless. All right, so let's get the spider back here. And come on. Oh, I bet that's a closet. There we go. Get out of here before we get caught. Why can I not leave this room? There we go. You ever been in such a hurry that you forget how to door? Is that just a me problem? Ugh, struggle's real. Okay. Maybe third time's a charm. Let's try again. Okay. Maybe this time we'll be successful. Actually, can we talk to Abby? Ah, we can.
Hi, Nancy. I can't believe we had a fire. I can't believe it. I bet Charlie was down there before it started.
Why do you say that?
Because he's always around at the scene of these accidents. I told Rose to fire him, but she won't listen to me.
What kind of person is Charlie? He seems to feel bad about all of these mishaps.
Ugh, it's clear to me that Charlie's totally responsible for the accidents. Who else could it have been? He's a really nice kid, but he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, Rose doesn't want to fire him. And there's something suspicious about him.
What do you mean?
The other day, I was down in the basement working for over an hour, and suddenly he sneaks up on me. I bet he was down there the whole time, watching me.
Have you seen the poem in my room?
Oh, I love that poem. Listen, my child, to this story of dreams. How does the rest go? It was there when we bought the place.
Do you know much about Louis? It must be great having your own expert on Victorians.
He owns Chandler Interiors, a very reputable antique store. I'm sure his clients will be quite interested in our bed and breakfast once they hear about our resident ghost.
How long have you known Rose?
A couple of years. She has good business sense, but I think she needs to think more about advertising. Otherwise, we're just like all the other B&Bs in this town, and believe me, there's plenty of them.
I saw those papers in the parlor. Where did you find them?
Right in my room. They're so vintage. I'm going to ask Louis if he can get me some antique frames for them. Rose and I can use the letters in our historical display.
Was there anything about the house in them?
I don't think so. I really didn't go through them that much. I did find this old picture of a woman dressed in men's clothing. I think it was taken in the entryway by the staircase. I sent it to a photographer to have it restored.
Do you have any idea who this woman might be?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Does Charlie live around here?
I'm not sure. He said he's between apartments. I think he said he's staying with friends until he can find a place of his own.
Is Charlie from the Bay Area?
I don't know. You might want to ask Rose. He doesn't talk much about his private life.
Between apartments? That seems kind of odd.
Not for San Francisco. Rents are really high, and there are so many kids thinking they can find cheap housing out here. It's sad to say, but a lot of them end up on the streets.
Did the house come with a lot of furniture?
There were a lot of pieces and knickknacks left behind, like the books in the study, your bed. I think it was too large to take out of the room.
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Bye.
Okay, so lots to talk about there with Abby. All right, and it is 11:30, so let's get to the library. There we go. Hopefully this works this time. Cross your fingers.
Louis is up to something.
Finally!
Aha! That's it!
Louis, are you in there?
I'll be right there.
He's hiding something in his briefcase.
Dun dun dun! Alright, so he hid something in the briefcase. Now that we finally got that cutscene, third time's the charm. Let's go and take a look. Okay. So, we're going to go in here, and the combination 4653. And the other side 4868. And we're in. Okay. So, through our own voices, an oral history of Chinese immigrants in California.
Gumbo Fu? What's that?
Wing Tang. When I was just 19, I worked as a grader on the Transcontinental Railroad and saw the two great railroads meet at the Golden Spike. I came to San Francisco in 1871 and worked as a chef for Miss Applegate for many years at the Hotel Chinois, and then at the Golden Gardenia, which we called Gumbo Fu. I remember the great earthquake and how it shook the tall buildings like stalks of rice. Great fire destroyed so many buildings and people. Gumbo Fu. Dear Sir, I represent a client who would like to sell their collection of post-Civil War gold bullion. My client wishes to remain anonymous during all the business transactions, and I'm having difficulty determining the nature of their collection. From what I can gather, my client possesses approximately $50,000 in uncirculated bank standard gold coins dated between 1870 and 1880. These would have been issued by one of the 5 major banks that were located in California at the time. Please contact me at your convenience. I am available during mornings and evenings. Louis Chandelier, however you want to say his name. Rick Arlen back with a vengeance. Soap star heartthrob Rick Arlen has renewed his contract with Worldwide Broadcasting, but admits he had misgivings about another season of Light of Our Love. It was a very difficult time of my life, the actor admits. There were a lot of things going down, and I didn't know if it was time to move on. Rumors have persisted that Arlen had been a victim of a stalker, and that a teen detective named Nancy Drew was on the case. However, neither Rick nor the show's producer, William Pappas, had any comment. Miss Drew had recently been... and it cuts off. So there we go. In case you were wondering what happened with Rick Arlen, he re-signed his contract, y'all. Hidden treasure in our homes. I have consulted and worked on the restoration of hundreds of California homesteads, ranches, haciendas, and mansions dating as far back as the 18th century. I've always found some sort of hidden treasure. Some are quite ordinary, a stash full of tiles, a secret compartment filled with keepsakes, but others have proved to be quite extraordinary. My recent work at Los Arboles Ranch in Santa Frida uncovered $20,000 in gold bullion that had been hidden away during the Spanish-American War. Over the many years of my research and findings, I've developed a systematic approach to determine which habitations are prime candidates for hiding a secret treasure. That's where it ends. So, okay, we're going to get out of this before he comes back because I really do not want a game over sequence. Okay. So, Gumbo Foo. That's our next mystery. Let's give our friend Emily a call.
Emily Foxworth speaking.
Hello, it's Nancy Drew.
Hi, Nancy. How's your case coming along?
Okay, so we have to ask her about Gumbo Foo.
Do you know what the words gumbo foo mean?
Sounds Chinese to me. Why don't you ask everyone what they think it means? It may have something to do with the house. In the meantime, I'll ask my friends about it. Gumbo Foo.
Okay, and since we're talking to her, we might as well ask her all this.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Oh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
Have you ever heard of the Ladies Protection Society?
No, but it sounds like some turn-of-the-century charity. There were all these private agencies that helped out widows and orphans before the government took on that role.
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure? Oh, you mean the play? The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No, but I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco, except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
Talk to you later.
Okay, so I feel slightly ridiculous hearing Nancy say Louis's full name. I have definitely been saying it wrong. I am sorry. I probably had a fair amount of people screaming at me every time I did it. It is Louis Chandler. Chandler. Absolutely not Chandelier. Absolutely not. My apologies. Oh, man. Okay, so let's ask everyone about Gumbo Foo.
Hi, Nancy. What's up?
Do you know what the words gumbo foo mean?
I'm not sure. I've never heard that before.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
Thanks.
Okay, so Charlie doesn't know what it is. Let's ask Rose.
Hello.
Are you missing any papers?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I did misplace some old letters, but I'm sure they'll show up soon.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
No, not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Thanks for your help.
So I kind of wonder why Nancy asks if Rose is missing papers, and I think what they're hinting at there, if you look in the box of papers that burned up in the fire. They do look different from the papers that were in that box when we looked at it before it started on fire. Like before it looked like invoices and stuff like that. This definitely does not look like an invoice. And neither does that. So yeah, I don't know. That could be a healthy amount of assuming on my part though. So if anyone knows for sure, feel free to put it down in the comments. Like I said, I'm not super well versed in this one, so I don't know. Hey, the blink. Okay. Let's ask Abby about gumbo foo. Oops. There we go.
Hello.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
Gumbo foo? I love gumbo. What kind of gumbo is gumbo foo?
I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Pax vobiscum.
Okay. So nobody knows what that is. Fun little nugget of knowledge here for you. You can
It's stuck.
apparently...
It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck.
open this
It's stuck.
with a screwdriver. But I do not have a screwdriver. So maybe I will not do that. Oh, I bet Charlie has one. Oh, not the door I want. What time is it? Okay, so we have to be careful what we say here.
Yes, Nancy.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
Where did you hear that?
So you can say one of two things. You can either say you came across it in a book or in a magazine. If you pick the wrong one, it's a game over sequence.
I read about it in a magazine.
I see. As I recall, it means House of Great Books. After the Great Earthquake, many books and documents were stored in private homes to save them from the fires. The Chinese called those houses gumbo fu.
There you go.
Do you think Charlie is doing a good job?
Certainly. He's rough around the edges, but he's reliable and learns very quickly. He's just what Rose and I need.
I won't keep you any longer.
Nice to see you again.
All right, so there you have it. Okay. So I don't know if we have something more to talk about with Charlie now. Let's go give it a try.
Hi, Nancy. What's
Nope.
up?
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
So long.
Okay. Okay, so let's go upstairs. And we're gonna set the alarm for 6 o'clock. Oh, there's something there. Nancy Drew, Emily Foxworth. Sorry I could not drop this off myself, but I'm out the door for a month-long photo shoot in Mexico. I spoke with my friend about gumbo foo, and she told me it means gold treasure mansion. She wrote the Chinese symbols below. Hasta luego, Emily.
Golden Wonder.
So there we go. That is the last symbol that we needed. I'm trying to find my pencil here, because it grew legs and walked away on me. As things do. Okay, so there we go. Got our last symbol there. Okay, and what I want to see before we do anything else is if we can find a screwdriver down in Charlie's toolbox. Okay. I thought maybe we'd be able to, because I wanted to see if I could get that grate off. It seemed like a really great idea. I'm drawing an absolute blank on where I found that screwdriver before. But it doesn't matter. What I was going to do is entirely optional, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right, let's go talk to Rose.
I'm glad you dropped by. You know, I wanted to tell you that you'll be alone in the house for a while. Everyone is going to the Winter Festival, and Charlie's studying for finals. I also took down one of the tapestries in your room for dry cleaning, and what was the other thing? Oh, a messenger dropped off a letter for you. I put it in your room.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Okay, so we already found that letter. Let's start our endgame sequence, shall we? Okay, so we're gonna go in Nancy's room. And now that tapestry that was there is gone. So I'm gonna pull up my picture of the book that I got from a book in Abby's room. So we're gonna need that. All right, so what we have to do is we have to click the zodiac symbols in order. So we have to go rabbit, ox, tiger. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, we're gonna start this over because it's rat first. Good gracious. Okay, rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, boar. All right, so now we have our next one. This is why we were writing down all those Chinese symbols. We have to enter in the Chinese symbols in the order that they appear in that poem that was on the tapestry in Nancy's room. So the first one is child. Give it a spin for good luck. Okay, so child. And then next is beginning. I can find where the cursor is going to let me turn this. There we go. So beginning. And then daughters. And 4. River, and gold. There we go. Okay, so all sorts of goodies in here. We have our wedding day. As thy days shall thy strength be, I think. Elizabeth Applegate and Diego Valdez. So they got married. Last will and testament, Elizabeth Valdez. Do hereby make this my last will and testament to my dear friend Nellie Beecham, my black onyx necklace and earrings, and the sum of $5,000 to my employee Wing Tang, the sum of $15,000 to my cherished secretary Mabel Craddy, the sum of $10,000, and to my beloved husband Diego Valdez the entirety of my estate, my house, and its contents, with the exception of the bequests above. In the event that my husband Diego Valdez is not located after a period of 1 year after my death, or is found to be deceased, the entirety of my estate, with the exception of the bequests above, are to be liquidated, and all proceeds of said transaction are to be provided to the Ladies' Protection and Relief Society. Interesting. My dearest Elizabeth, I could never sully that sweet name by calling you Lizzie. You shall evermore be Elizabeth, my Elizabeth, the sweet, dear woman who has honored me with her enchanting presence and grace. Tonight I'll ride on yet another perilous trip, but always to return to your beloved smile. Until then, please accept this bouquet of gardenias, your favorite, El Diablo. My dearest Elizabeth, only one soul on this great earth knows the something secrets that circle my heart, my love for you, and my secret identity. Know that my intentions are the purest in all respects. I am a modest man, and all the wealth that I have acquired by devious means are put to the best uses, all given to the poor, the misfortunate, and the defenseless. And so I am a poor, misfortunate, and defenseless man in the presence of your beauty. You have stolen my heart, dear Elizabeth, and all I ask is your hand in marriage to be mine. All right. Here we have some jewelry. And
Something's missing here.
oh, I thought we hadn't looked at that yet. All right, we're going to use this symbol. Open this up. Okay, so now we're going to change this so that moons are shown. I used to know how to do this one quickly, and it escapes me, so this may be really painful here for a moment. Sorry. Oh, we're going to start over. Okay, let's see here. This should not be that difficult. Okay, let's see here. There we go. For some reason, I thought you could do that in just a couple moves, but maybe I was wrong. This puzzle is the bane of my existence. I do not know why slider puzzles are so unbelievably difficult to me, but they absolutely melt my brain every time I do them. So we're gonna try to do this halfway decent, though. Maybe I'll be successful. That is a very large maybe. Okay, let's see here. So I feel like it goes like that. Okay, yeah, that looks right. And then this needs to be over here. So let's see here. Maybe if we do this. Okay, so that needs to be in that order. We go like this. Nope. Okay, well, there's that one. This is probably super painful to watch. I'm sorry. These are not my jam. I wish they were. But they're just not. Just not. Okay, let's see here. Let's try. I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, so if we do that. Okay, maybe if we keep that part in order. No, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see here. Okay, we'll do that. There we go. Like that. Hey, look at that. Oh. There we go. Ruby for our troubles. And here we go. All right, here we are. We are at our
It's
end
missing
game
an
here.
eye. When the moon sleeps and the sun plays. When the moon sleeps and the sun plays.
Thank you, Nancy. Can I see the
It's
other
missing
side?
an eye.
You don't say.
When the moon sleeps and the sun plays.
What is this thing's problem? Oh my goodness.
It's missing an eye.
Are you kidding me? Where did the eye go? Did it just glitch? Okay, have I lost my mind?
It's missing an eye.
Have I lost my mind? There is no Ruby. And it's not. Oh no. No. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. And of course I was not saving my game too, so if this is a glitch, oh no. Okay, we're not gonna panic. We're not gonna panic. We are gonna be calm, cool, and collected. Oh no. Okay, let's see if maybe by some miracle it showed up back here. It means we're gonna have to completely do all of these puzzles again, but that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Rat, fox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, monkey. Nope. Snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, boar. Alright, and then this puzzle again. Spin for good luck. Alright, so we have child. Beginning. Daughters. 4. I. 5. Moon. King. River. And gold. Okay. I have a really bad feeling this is not going to work out in my favor. Okay, we'll do this. Again. And as if doing the slider puzzle once wasn't enough, let's do it again. Oh my gosh. Oof, and I have completely messed up the order for how to do this, just right from the get-go. Oh, this is absolutely backwards. Okay. If we go like that. Maybe? Okay, well that's close-ish. Ugh. You know what makes me sad? I did this right the first time. Oh my gosh. Oh, or it's not going to start over. Cool. the epitome of the meme where the dog is sitting in the building or in the room and everything is on fire. And he's just sitting there going, this is fine. This is cool. Zero things to worry about here. Everything is just going swimmingly. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is such a mess now. Shoot. No. I'm not even like legitimately trying to do this nicely anymore because I'm just so dejected that this is probably not going to work. Oh my gosh. This is the worst. You know, just out of curiosity, I wonder. If, let's see here. Pausing for dramatic effect here. 1 second, guys. Let's see here. Okay. I almost wonder if, let's see here. I don't understand how that ruby could go missing. I really, really don't. I'm just absolutely perplexed. I think I just realized what happened. I have never solved this game when it's nighttime, and looking at the clock, it is 9:30, and I wonder if it is 9:30 at night. Interesting. Okay. All hope may not be lost, y'all. Maybe. Seriously? Can we just work? Why does everything have to be so hard? Okay. Okay, let's see if this fixes the problem. There's a very good chance it won't, but I am choosing to think very positively right now. Okay, so...
It's missing an eye.
But we still don't have it. Okay. Interesting.
I see you.
Really? Do you see where the ruby went? Could you do me a solid and see where the ruby went? You see me. Do you see the ruby? Good news, I actually did have a save file that I went back into, and notice we have our ruby back. So I did not have to go through and completely replay the game. Thank goodness. But lesson learned, from here on out, I will definitely be saving my game. That is so weird. I did not know that that was even possible. I didn't. All right, let's give this a try. Okay, so what we should be able to do is go into here. Okay, so there's the Phoenix. We have an eyeball here.
It's missing an eye. When the moon sleeps and the sun plays.
Okay, so I think, yeah, we might be at the wrong time. So that actually could be...
I see you.
Do ya now? Ooh, a ghost in the mirror. I think actually that's the first time I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one before. Very cool. Okay, so we are gonna set the clock for when it is daytime. It's bright. Because right now it's almost 7 o'clock. I don't think that's the time that we need. 6:45? Whatever. So when the moon sleeps and the sun plays. Another shadow there. All right. Hopefully we did it correctly. Let's see if we did. Oh! All right, so sunlight came through the window and now there is a mark on this. So let's take our crowbar to it. And here we go.
Gold! And to think I was standing on it all along.
Ha 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 ha. Too bad no one will ever find out about it.
Louis?
I knew it! There must be over $1 million in here.
I've got to stop him before he gets away.
What? Hey! 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 Get me out of here!
Dear Bess, I'm just about finished with my renovation work and counting out all of those gold coins. Louis was behind all of the accidents, hoping to pressure Rose into selling the house so he could find the treasure himself. Although Rose and Abby may not have a legal right to the gold, the bank the coins were stolen from will still give them a reward for finding it. The house also has gotten a lot of publicity with all of the news stories, and the place is booked solid for the first month of its opening. I guess a haunted bed and breakfast with hidden treasures is all the rage these days, even if there are no such things as ghosts. I think. See you soon, Nancy.
We did it. We solved the case. It was Louis the whole time. And we found a treasure. Go us. Oh man, this playthrough felt really unhinged, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope you had fun too. I must admit, the more I play through this game, it really is growing on me. It's still not one of my favorites, but this was fun. I liked this a lot. So, like I said before, I think my favorite character in this game is probably Charlie. He is just an absolute sweetheart. I enjoy visiting with him. I would say Abby is probably my second favorite if I had to choose. But yeah, I love the music. The hauntings in the hallway are very well done. I can see how that probably would have scared a lot of people when they were little. But like I said at the beginning of this video, when I started playing this, it was after I had graduated from college, so the jump scares did not really affect me too much on this one. But do not worry, I have plenty of traumatizing stories from playing these games when I was younger with other games that we will get to eventually. So just gonna let these credits here roll out. I want to thank everybody for joining me on another video playthrough. Hopefully you like these. Hopefully you enjoy them. Hopefully my punny jokes and witty sarcasm throughout all of this don't make you roll your eyes too much. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this. This was really great. If you have not yet and you would like to, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can see when I post more videos and follow all of the developments in the ranked series, which I am still working on. I hit kind of a creative block with how I wanted to do puzzles, so it is still coming. It's just delayed a little bit. And if you're on Instagram and you'd like to follow me there, I am Sleuthy Teacher on Instagram. That is where I post a lot of my Nancy Drew memes and more fun shenanigans over there. So go ahead, you can give me a follow over there if you would like. But I think that pretty much wraps everything up. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video when we tackle Nancy Drew, the final scene. And until then, stay sleuthy.